Good evening, everyone. Roll call.
Mayor Delacuilla.
Here.
Director of Law Pignatello.
Here.
Director of Finance Herwick.
Here.
Councilman at Large Elliott.
Here.
Councilwoman at Large Kelly. Councilwoman at Large Stager.
Here.
Ward 1 Councilman Biassiata.
Here.
Ward 2 Councilman Martin.
Here.
Ward 3 Councilman Snitsky.
Here.
Ward 4 Councilman Greenwald.
Here.
Director of Public Service and Properties Johnson.
Here.
Building Commissioner Hoopt.
Here.
Engineer Collins.
Here.
I'd like the motion to excuse Councilwoman Kelly due to illness. Do I have a second?
Second.
A roll call.
Elliott.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Councilwoman Kelly's been excused. We'll now have the reading and disposal of the journal.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman.
having read the council minutes of special council meeting held June 4th, 2019, I find no errors or omissions. Therefore, I move they be approved as printed.
Second.
Roll call.
Elliott.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Minutes have been approved. Moving on to consent agenda, July 23rd, 2019.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
if there's no division of the question, I move that we accept the consent agenda of July 23rd, 2019.
Second.
Roll call.
Elliott.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Consent agenda of July 23rd has been adopted. I'm now going to make a motion to waive the 24-hour rule for delivery and add ordinance 111-2019 to the agenda. This is an ordinance to appropriate a sum not to exceed $11,390.36 for a change order to ordinance 93-2019 passed by council on June 25th, 2019, and ordinance number 100-2019 passed by council on July 9, 2019, which authorizes the repairs to Fire Department Engine 2, which consists of but not is limited to replacing the Class 1 pressure governor controller, clear all codes, and retest all circuits and declaring emergency. I'd like to further make a motion to amend the agenda by entering ordinance 111-2019 onto the agenda as item 9L1 as an emergency measure. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'd like to note this is an emergency measure because it deals with repairs to our fire engine. And for public safety, these repairs actually have already been made, and we're merely paying the bill at this time. Okay? Do we have any resolutions of commendations? No. This evening. I'm sorry, we got to vote on my motion to amend the agenda.
Elliott.
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes, the agenda is so amended. Now moving on to resolutions of accommodation.
There are none.
Reports of committees. Planning, zoning, and economic development.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
previous committee meeting notes are on file with the clerk. The next planning, zoning, and economic development meeting is 9/17/19.
Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. President. The most recent meeting of the Public Works Committee was held on July 2nd. The minutes of that meeting are pending. The next meeting will be held on September 3rd.
Community Services.
Yes, Mr. President, the last meeting was on July 2nd. Those minutes are on file with the clerk, and the next meeting will be on September 3rd.
Parks and Rec.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
minutes of the July 16th meeting are on file with the clerk, and the next meeting is scheduled for September 10th.
Our last meeting of rules was July 9th. Councilwoman Kelly will update us on the minutes when she returns. For Finance, Civil Service, and Personnel, our last meeting was July 16th, and those meeting minutes are on file with the clerk, and our next meeting will be September 10th. Moving on to,
Mr. President,
yes,
we forgot police and safety.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Police and Safety?
Forgot a lot.
We got, you got,
Last meeting was July 16th. My minutes are pending. The next meeting will be on August 17th.
Not
Thank you.
August.
Not in August.
Or I'm sorry, September 17th.
You'll be here, but we
I'm
won't.
getting, you got, getting a bit camera shy as time goes on. Oh, well. Where were we? Appointments and confirmations. We do have one appointment tonight, as we mentioned in caucus. It's for the Tax Incentive Review Council. Okay? I'm going to make a motion to confirm and accept the appointment of Jack Johnson as zone manager and Jackie Payton and Susan Oyster as members of the Tax Incentive Review Council, also known as TIRC, if there's no division of the question. Do I have a second?
I second.
Roll call?
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Appointment's been confirmed. Moving on to communications and petitions.
Yes, I have a couple items. The first was a letter received from Holly and Tony Graham to Mayor Delaquila, commending the Seven Hills Service Department for their help in removing branches and logs from their yard a couple of weeks ago. They write these were larger dead trees that they removed so they would not be a road hazard should they fall in a storm. After a call to the service department, my husband and I were promptly called back, and we were happy to hear that they could fit us in their schedule sooner than we anticipated. They're thanking the city service department for a job well done. That's Holly and Tony Graham. Also like to make note that we have a mayoral proclamation declaring the month of September 2019 as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Seven Hills. And a copy of his proclamation will be appended to the minutes in its entirety. And lastly, I have a lengthy letter from Kent Starrett, who lives on East Ridgewood Drive. He hand-delivered this council to me, the clerk of council, requesting that it be read into the minutes tonight. We just spoke with Mr. Starrett before the meeting, and he has given us permission to actually not read it in its entirety. He's writing the first paragraph. I understand the Rules Committee has decided not to make changes to the city ordinances to accommodate native plant gardens and rain gardens. I respectfully disagree with this decision. There are several reasons the city should be supporting changes to the ordinances that I will enumerate. And he does go on to enumerate all his reasons and recommendations. We will append this letter also in its entirety to the minutes, and the council president has referred it to the Rules Committee, and I will also make copies for everybody on the dais.
Thank you, Kent, for allowing us to handle it in that manner. Okay, any further communications?
That's it.
Thank you. Council is now open to the audience on legislation only. First row right, first row left, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. All right, thank you all. Moving on to ordinances and resolutions. First one tonight is ordinance 94, 2019.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance number 94-2019 by title only for its third and final reading.
Second.
Roll call.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Ordinance 94, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delaquila. An ordinance to amend subsection 159.04C, Mayor's Court Magistrate, as contained in Chapter 159, Mayor's Court of Title 7, Judicial of Part 1, Administrative Code of the Codified Ordinances, of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio, for the purpose of amending the compensation of the Mayor's Court Magistrate, retroactive to January 1st, 2019.
Further motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman?
I move that we pass ordinance number 94-2019.
Second.
Roll call?
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Ordinance 94 is passed. Moving on to amended ordinance 95, 2019.
Mr. President,
Councilman Greenwald.
this time I would move to amended ordinance number 95-2019 with the purpose of changing cash out both in the title and the body of the ordinance and changing all references to cash out to convert.
Second.
Roll call?
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Ordinance 95 has been further amended. Do we have a further motion?
Yes, Mr. President. I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read amended ordinance number 95-2019 by title only for its third and final reading.
Second.
Roll call?
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Amended ordinance number 95, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla. An ordinance to amend subsection 129.011C, Director of Finance, as contained in Chapter 129, Department of Finance of Title V, Administrative, of Part 1, Administrative Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio, for the purpose of amending paid vacation benefits, permitting the Director of Finance to convert up to 40 hours vacation time per year.
Mr. President,
Councilman?
I move that we pass amended ordinance number 95-2019.
Second.
Roll call?
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Amended ordinance 95 has been passed. Moving on to ordinance 101.
Mr. President, I move that we table ordinance number 101-2019.
Second.
Any discussion?
I would just like to say, for the reasons I stated, I think that it's problematic to have this on the ballot at the same time as the mayoral election. And I think it should be done during a different election.
Any further comments?
Mr. President,
Councilman Elliott?
I disagree wholeheartedly. I don't think it's this council's right to not send this off to the voters of Seven Hills and let them pass it or deny the raise. I think we've done our research on it. As you know, I was opposed to this from the get-go. I've done my research on it. I've talked to residents in Seven Hills. I've talked to other mayors. I've talked to other politicians around our city. I think it's time to put it on the ballot, and I think it's a disservice if this council doesn't let it go to the ballot.
Any further comments? Roll call. We're making voting on the tabling.
Elliott?
No.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
No.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
I'm sorry, I'm recused.
Recuse. 3 yea, 2 nay. Yes.
We have three.
3
On the
yea, 2
table.
nay.
Moving on to amended ordinance 102, 2019.
Mr. President,
Councilman?
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and amend ordinance number 102-2019 by adding an emergency.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call.
Elliott,
Yes.
Stager,
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Mr. President,
Councilman,
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read amended ordinance number 102-2019 by title only for its third and final reading.
I'll second.
roll call.
Elliott,
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Amended ordinance 102, 2019 is passed. Remember the, I'm sorry, we got its reading.
Amended ordinance number 102, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance providing for the submission to the electors of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio, a certain charter amendment pursuant to Article 10 of the Charter of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio, for the purpose of amending Article 3, the council, Section 10, validation of actions and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Councilman,
I move that we pass amended ordinance number 102-2019.
Second.
roll call.
Elliott,
Yes.
Stager,
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes, amended ordinance 102, 2019 is passed. Moving on to ordinance 103.
Mr. President,
Councilman,
I move that we amend ordinance number 103-2019, adding an emergency clause. The reason for the emergency is that this is intended to be a ballot initiative this fall, and speed is required to accomplish that task.
Second.
roll call.
Elliott,
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes, ordinance 103 has been amended to add the emergency clause. Do we have a further motion?
Yes, Mr. President, I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read amended ordinance number 103-2019 for its third and final reading by title only.
Second.
Roll call.
Elliott,
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Amended ordinance number 103, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance providing for the submission to the electors of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio, a certain charter amendment pursuant to Article 10 of the Charter of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio, for the purpose of amending Article 3 of the Council, Section 11, President of Council, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Councilman,
I move that we pass amended ordinance number 103-2019.
Second.
roll call.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Ordinance 103, 2019 is passed. Moving on to ordinance 104.
Mr. President,
Councilman,
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance number 104-2019 by title only for its third and final reading.
Second.
roll call.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Ordinance number 104, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance to amend Section 121.09, Rules of Council, is contained in Chapter 121 Council of Title III, Legislative of Part 1, Administrative Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio, for the purpose of adding Rule 27, entitled Revisions.
Further motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman,
I move that we pass ordinance number 104-2019.
Second.
roll call.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Ordinance 104, 2019 is passed. Can you hear us better now? Everyone? Good. We'll now have the second reading of amended ordinance 105, 2019.
Amended ordinance number 105, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly Elliott Stager Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance to approve the omnibus discharge of pending legislation that has been held indefinitely by the council of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio. All discharged legislation shall receive a nay vote and be marked as defeated.
Moving on to ordinance 106, 2019.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance number 106-2019 by title only for its first and final reading.
Second.
Roll call.
Elliott,
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Ordinance 106, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla, councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with Ohio Geese Control LLC of Rocky River, Ohio, in an amount not to exceed $9,000 for 40 weeks of geese control on the City of Seven Hills Municipal Complex and Recreation Center parcels, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman.
I move that we pass ordinance number 106-2019.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Elliott,
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Ordinance 106, 2019 is passed. Moving on to ordinance 107, 2019.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance 107, 2019 for its first and final reading.
I second. Roll call.
Elliott,
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Ordinance 107, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an equipment agreement with Bank of America Merchant Services LLC for a new point of sale device, FD130 credit card, to be used in the police department for bonds, authorizing an amount not to exceed $599 for said purchase and declaring an emergency.
Further motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman.
I move that we pass ordinance 107, 2019.
I second. Roll call.
Elliott,
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. 107, 2019 has been passed. Moving on to ordinance 108, 2019.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance 108, 2019 by title only for its first and final reading.
Second.
Roll call.
Elliott,
Yes.
Stager.
Yes.
Greenwald.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Ordinance number 108, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the firefighter exposure to environmental elements grant in the amount of $11,970 to be used for the purchase of 84 Gore particulate hoods, Ultra C6 Black, and 85 ProTech Fusion gloves, authorizing $2,394 as the city's obligation toward the purchase of the hoods and gloves. Complete purchase of the approved equipment totaling $14,364 and declaring an emergency.
Further motion.
Mr. President,
Councilman.
I move that we pass ordinance 108, 2019.
I second.
Before I vote, I just want to edit my comments from caucus. The total requisition here for ordinance 108, 2019 is $14,364, of which the fire department did receive a grant for $11,970. So the city's portion obligation towards the $14,000 purchase is only $2,394. So I wanted to state for the record, there was an additional $2,394 to get us to the $14,364 that we need. And once again, I want to congratulate our fire department for seeking this grant and getting it approved. Any further comments? Roll call.
Elliot,
Yes.
Stager,
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes, ordinance number 108 has been approved. Moving on to ordinance 109.
Mr. President.
Councilman. Councilman Snitsky.
Yes, sir. I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance number 109-2019 by title only for its first and final reading.
Second.
Roll call.
Elliot,
Yes.
Stager,
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Ordinance number 109, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance to appropriate a sum not to exceed $224,576 plus delivery charges for the purchase of one new Timco Model 600 mounted on new dual steering 2019 Freightliner Model M2 cab and chassis street sweeper with appurtenances for use in the service department from Best Equipment Company, Northeast Ohio, through the Ohio Department of Administrative Services, contract STS, schedule number 800-550, index number STS 235, and declaring an emergency.
Further motion?
Mr. President.
Councilman Snitsky.
I move that you pass move that we pass ordinance number 109-2019.
Second.
Any comments? Just like to note that this acquisition is going to be fully refunded by the Northeast Ohio Sewer District under their Community Cost Share Program. And we view this as an important step in the sewer maintenance because the new sweeper will pick up more debris that ultimately could end up in our basins, as was reported by our service director in caucus. Any further comments? Roll call.
Elliot,
Yes.
Stager,
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Ordinance number 109, 2019 is passed. We'll now have the first reading of ordinance 110, 2019.
Ordinance 110, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla, councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance to appropriate a sum not to exceed $26,866 for the purchase of two Hustler Super ZHD 72-inch B/4 deck 36 HP Vanguard mowers with flex forks, $24,366, and one deck over trailer tandem axle with folding ramps, $2,500, with appurtenances for use in the service department of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio. Said purchase to be made from Baker Vehicle Systems of Macedonia, Ohio, through the Ohio Department of Administrative Services, Office of State Purchasing Contract.
Thank you. Moving on to resolution 2019.
Mr. President.
I'm sorry. We have item 9L1 that wasn't on the agenda, and I amended it, and the council clerk reminded me. So we're now on to ordinance 111, 2019. And I'm going to move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance 111, 2019 by title only for its first and final reading.
Second.
I'd like to once again add the reason for the emergency is this was repairs to our fire engine number 2. Roll call, please.
Elliot,
Yes.
Stager,
Yes.
Greenwald,
Yes.
Snitsky,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Ordinance 111, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. An ordinance to appropriate the sum not to exceed $11,390.36 for a change order to ordinance number 93, 2019, passed by council June 25th, and ordinance number 100, 2019, passed by council July 9th, which authorized the repairs to Fire Department Engine Number 2, which consists of, but is not limited to, replacing the Class 1 pressure governor controller, clear all codes, and retest all circuits, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. I further move that we pass ordinance 111, 2019.
Second.
Roll call.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Ordinance 111, 2019 is passed. Moving on to resolution 2019.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read resolution number 20-2019 by title only for its third and final reading.
I'll second. Roll call.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Resolution number 20, 2019, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and councilpersons Biassiata, Kelly, Elliott, Stager, Martin, Snitsky, and Greenwald. A resolution memorializing the amendments to the City of Seven Hills Charter relating to matters of form only, gender revisions.
Further motion.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Stager.
I move that we adopt resolution number 20-2019.
I'll second. Any comments? Roll call.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. Resolution 20, 2019 has been adopted. Council is now open to the audience. First row right. First row left. Mr. Jaros.
Made some public document requests during the week and got answers about, I asked for budget line numbers for sewer preventive maintenance. And I got a number that didn't key on preventive maintenance, just a general number. Strongly suggest that somebody establish a separate budget line for preventive maintenance of the sewer system, be it stormwater separate from sanitary or combined. We've seen some things happen here. We've heard for a long time about the problem at John Glenn. We've heard about Ridgewood, flood basements on Ridgewood. For the last 10 years, I've been hearing they've been doing smoke and dye. Recently, we heard there was also smoke and dye work going to be done by the latest outside company involved. We never heard any results. Years ago, we heard former Planning Commission member Joe Andres talk about an allegedly undersized pipe on Winchester that may or may not have had something to do with the flooding on John Glenn. And we can't seem to get an answer whether that pipe is undersized, if it does exist. If it is, then people on John Glenn might have sanitary in their basements again. We need to get serious about the preventive maintenance. 200 hours average a year for the sweeper. And Mr. Johnson says it's not sweeping very good, so we don't know how long it's not been sweeping too good. I have experience with rebuilding equipment of the street sweeper type. $100,000 is a lot of money. I don't know what you guys plan on doing with it. I would suggest you look into repairing it, but get another quote on the rebuild. They're really simple machines, 100 grand, that it'd have to be pretty much flying apart to need that much money. But the sewer situation is obviously serious. If we had been videoing the sewer pipes on a regular basis, it's likely we would have discovered the problem at North and South Mary. 2 12-inch pipes feeding a 12-inch pipe. A competent guy on a camera would have seen that. And I thank Engineer Collins for pointing out the fact that that existed. The honesty is appreciated. But people on North and South Mary never had a chance. 2 12-inch pipes into a single 12-inch pipe. Camera would have saw that. So I think we need to get professional about the sewer maintenance. And I sure hope you guys can make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Giles. Anyone else in the first row? Mr. Andrews.
I'm Joe Andrus from 1004 John Glenn Drive. I would agree with what I just heard. A number of years ago, we had to buy a new ambulance because our old one was unreliable. So we bought a new one. Contractor agreed to keep our old one running until the new one arrived. Do you know what the repairs amounted to on the old ambulance? A new set of batteries and battery cables, and it was running just fine. When the new one came, we kept the old one for a short period of time, and then it was turned over to the service department, and they used it for many years. I was in business my whole life. I had equipment. I know what it cost. $100,000 to rebuild a street sweeper. I had Class 8 tractors, which are tandem diesels. I would spend money. I'd spend $14,000 to rebuild an engine and do a transmission. The joke of it is, when I sold my company, I'd cut it down to one Class 8 tractor, a 91 Freightliner. Guess what? They're still running that truck today. A new one costs about $190,000. Their costs aren't anywhere near that, and it's running fine. A number of years ago, we had to buy a new fire truck. The reason I was told is we had to rebuild the engine. What's wrong with the old engine? Well, nothing, but it's old. That's not an answer. Then I asked, well, what else? Well, the tank is leaking. Well, what kind of tank is in there? Do you get a stainless tank or not? No, we didn't know about that. We just got a steel tank. Well, how long is a steel tank going to last with water in it all the time? So I think we should start getting somebody here to assess our equipment and say what we should do with it and maintain it, instead of just, I know we're already going to buy the street sweeper, but I live on John Glenn. I don't think we see that street sweeper once a year, maybe twice. That's it. If we're going to spend this kind of money, let's use it, just like with the sewer cleaner. Let's use it. 200 hours a year, you can't afford, if you're a private company, you couldn't afford to pay $224,000 for a piece of equipment and use it 200 hours a year. That's unheard of. That is unheard of. You got to have payback. We're a city, but we're actually a business. Why not run it like a real business and only buy things that we're going to get a payback on, not sitting somewheres. The worst thing it can do with equipment is let it sit. Some of the lift trucks I had 10 lift trucks in my company when I sold it. The oldest one was a 57 Clark. Guess what? It's still running. Cost a few bucks to maintain it. It's either spend a couple bucks or spend about $90,000 or $100,000 to replace that lift truck. We didn't use it enough because you need different lift trucks. Couldn't afford a new one. You got to think of payback. That's what we should be thinking on street sweepers, medical equipment, whatever it is, it's payback. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews. First row still? Second row? We'll work our way back, ma'am. Second row? Third?
2623 North Mary Lane. I just have a few questions since a few of the people that I voted for to represent me don't have the common courtesy to call me back. Can anybody tell me what happened with the meeting between Fabrizi and the city with the storm sewer problem that they had? That's what I expected.
Okay. How about I'll take down all your questions and then I'm going to have people respond to each one if they're possible. So you want to know about the meeting with Fabrizi and the city?
Yeah, what would happen, because they apparently put in a bigger line at the end of the street.
Right.
So the question then would be, is that part of the Hemlock Creek project or is the city paying for that?
Okay.
That problem back there has to be fixed. In the year 2000, my house had excess of $25,000 worth of damage from the storm sewers backing up into my house. In 2006, again, over $25,000 in damage. This past backup, $40,811. You have to fix this problem. We will never, ever be able to sell this house. Thank you for your time.
Anyone from the administration wish to respond to either question at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay. Fourth row, ma'am? Yep.
My name is Viola Segedic,
Hi,
and I'm sorry, this is basically just a general question. I have trouble hearing even when I was sitting here. I thought I'd hear better in the back. So my question is, if you have not already said this, when does the council meet again?
when does it end?
No, when does the council meet again?
Oh. Our next committee meeting, scheduled committee meetings,
I'm sorry,
September 10th.
September 10th?
Yes.
Okay.
We do have a distribution list. If you see Carol after the meeting and give her,
Yeah, I can
if you
do
have
that.
email,
I can do
we
that.
mail,
Like I said,
we
it's
mail this agenda out in advance. And typically, there'll probably, and more than likely, there'll be a special meeting before then, and I don't want you not to know about it.
okay. My other question is, I recognize that you recessed for the month of August, I believe. And I remember that from years ago when I attended all the meetings. When it is adjourned, are all the councilmen still available
Sure,
on an individual basis? if needed?
absolutely.
Okay, that was my next question. Thank you.
Yeah, and after the meeting come up, I'll give you all my contact information. You can
Yeah.
contact me directly at any time.
Yeah, I know those procedures, but I mean, I just couldn't hear back there.
All
If I
right.
asked this, if you answered this question earlier, I'm sorry to take you.
No, that's the first that's come up. Thank you. Great questions. Fourth row again. Last row up, Mr. Leach.
Good evening. You guys don't get your deserved credit for all the work that you really put in. I read everything, and I have for the last, 40 years. But I want to thank everybody. This council and administration has worked together a heck of a lot better than I've seen in years. And I congratulate you for that. Entering August, recess time, I'm sure a lot of you are going to be campaigning, and I wish you the very best, of course. This is a good council. It's an excellent council. You have gone over the curve, the learning curve, and I'm very, very proud of the work that you have done. I'm sorry for the attire tonight. I'm probably the world's oldest T-ball player. I did have a game at Cleveland Indians' old stadium this afternoon in Canton, and it was wonderful. I did not hear back, by the way, from anyone regarding the flags on the two cell towers. I asked that back in November. I've sent several emails. I've asked it in several different council meetings. I would like somebody to explain that to me, because losing the flag on top of two huge towers affects everybody in the city. And I'm kind of ashamed that it's not back up there anymore. I don't know the mechanicals of it, but it was a wonderful, wonderful symbol for our city. And people saw that every day. There was one person over here, I remember last meeting we had, I brought it up, said his kid looks at it the first thing in the morning, and that's beautiful. They should. All right. One other thing is our wonderful home days. Tony Terry's back here. Every year it gets more difficult and difficult to find people to help. I'm asking all of you to spend a couple hours, volunteer for this worthy cause. It's the biggest time that you get to see a lot of people from the city that you don't normally do, but being there is wonderful. You're representing the city. And if you could give Tony 2-3 hours, 1 hour, I'm sure he could use it. It seems this year it's kind of worse. Young people, for some reason, don't volunteer like they used to. I mean, I'm going back to the JCs when I was there, and we did a heck of a lot of things. And then all of a sudden, we folded, and then the VFW, they folded, and people just don't volunteer anymore. I don't know why that is. But as an example, I'd like to see all of you guys out there sometime or another helping set it up, not just being there glad-handing as such. I appreciate what you guys do. And it was wonderful to see this council absorb all the information, all the different fields that you have to work in. And congratulations for getting on council, Mr. Martin. It's a pleasure. But you guys did well together. And I'd like to see more of that. Mayor, you've become a very, very good businessman. And I thank you for your service and everyone's service. And my love, Carol Sakarik, we go back, 40 years probably or more. And she does a phenomenal job. Thank her for her service. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Leach. Back row. Okay. Reports and communication from the Mayor Safety Director.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple of things that were brought up during the audience portion. As council is aware, and I believe some in the audience are aware, the sweeper has been an item of discussion now for many months. The excessive rains over a short period of time, which the city and every area in our region has experienced in June, July, et cetera, have highlighted the need to continue upgrading our maintenance of the sewers. I'm glad that council has seen fit to purchase this item. We all know the condition of the old item, and we will be using this to great effect in maintaining our sewers. Sewer capacity is an issue. When a localized area receives several inches of rain over a very short period of time, it's likely, as we've seen in all the cities around us, that it will overwhelm the carrying capacity of any sewer. With regard to the gentleman's question about Mary Lane, we took a look at the drawings there. Those sewers were designed in 1959. This is the Eisenhower administration. It's a mischaracterization, a canard really, to say that there's a defect there. The problem is that, again, the sewer has been overwhelmed. The design, and I think the engineer has some information on this, the design is such that there are two lines that feed into a catch basin and then is fed out by a third line. It was felt in the meeting with Fabrizi that perhaps putting in a supplemental line could help with the situation there, and so it was authorized. Let me go through my list here. With regard to phone messages, we have a number of people who call and don't leave a message. We had, for example, a person come up at a prior meeting saying that her call had not been returned. So we took the trouble to go through our records. Indeed, she did call. It was at 6:15 in the morning, but no message was left. So please, if you call, leave a message. Flags on we don't own the cell phone towers. Flags, as everyone is aware, must be illuminated at night. They may not be left up in the rain. We've had problems with the lanyard banging against the pole and damaging the pole. So I don't know where that stands with regard to the actual ownership, but it certainly is problematic to put up a flag at night that is not illuminated or to leave it up in the rain. Tony Terry has done a great job on home days, and I hope to see everybody there.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No, that's all right.
We'll now have reports from directors. Director of Finance.
I have no report, but I would like to thank you for your appointments to the Turk as well as for passing 95-2019.
Thank you. Director of Law.
No report.
Director of Public Service.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have just a couple things. First of all, I'd like to thank City Council for voting affirmatively on ordinance number 109, 2019. I appreciate that very much. At the last council meeting, there was a question from the audience of, I believe this was his question, of how much sewers or what sewers do we maintain or do we have a plan? For 2018, we cleaned 19,467 feet of sanitary sewers. We cleaned 28 catch basins. We repaired 46 catch basins. We cleaned 1,100 feet of ditches and replaced 40 feet of culvert pipe. So our plan is to, and we have to report this to the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District every year. The plan calls for every sewer catch basin and sewer main to be cleaned once every 7 years. My goal is to accelerate that so that we are cleaning them at least once every 5 years. So we are trying to make improvements in that area. There was also another question from Councilman Martin about the generator. As you know, last weekend, we finally got the police department onto the emergency generator, and there were questions that came up with regards to capacity and length of time that we would be able to run. Our generator is a 75 kW generator running, and we've had the electrician that did the conversion come out and measure just the other day when we had these 90-degree temperatures to find out what our draw is at full capacity, and that's with the air conditioning running. Our full draw is 50 kW. So our capacity is 75, we're running at 50. And I found a chart that estimates approximate runtime. And based on this chart, which was published by some company, I don't know, I'm estimating that we should be able to run on a 480-gallon tank of diesel approximately 5 days. And that's with the air conditioning running full blast and the entire department running full. Whether 5 days is adequate or not is to be determined, but that was your question, I believe, and I hope that answers your question. And I have nothing further, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Director. City Engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple things. With the Mapleview Drive East Hill Circle water main replacement projects wrapping up, we have our first 3 streets that are going to be commencing for rehabilitation resurfacing in the next 2 weeks. McCreary Road will soon be started within the next week or two. Then we're going to Evelyn Avenue and then Mapleview Drive. And then our remaining 8 streets will be occurring probably beginning September. And that's really all I have. My latest report's on file with the mayor's office. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Building Commissioner.
No report.
Miscellaneous, Councilman Martin.
President, I have nothing this time.
Councilman Snitsky, can you handle the motions for the variances? I'm sorry.
Norm, you
All
can-
right, I can. It's okay. Any
I didn't know who sat
miscellaneous?
in on the meeting, so-
Okay,
Well, you want me to do it?
I'll take care of it.
Okay.
My apologies.
Okay, no problem.
Miscellaneous, Councilman Snitsky?
The one thing I was just going to thank Councilman Martin, actually. He's really made an impact in his coming into council so quickly here and starting to do something. The 102, 103, and 104, they're good government ordinances and should help us conduct business better in the future. So I wanted to thank him for those. That's it. And have a great Home Days, everybody. Everybody go to Home Days. It's a wonderful event. And unfortunately, I won't be able to work it like I have in the past with Tony, but when I did do some things there, I was amazed at how many people come from outside the city to come to our home days, which to me, that says a lot. So go to home days. That's it. Thank you.
Councilman Greenwald?
Thank you.
welcome.
I'd just like to say how excited I am to hear that the street projects for 2019 are getting started. Thanks, Dan. On that note, I'll see everyone at home days, and hopefully I won't see the rest of council too often until September. Yeah. Thanks.
Councilwoman Stager?
Nothing, thank you.
Councilman Elliott?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to reiterate ordinance 101. If the members of council that wanted this tabled, I hope you do your due diligence. Actually look into it, actually talk to some of the residents of Seven Hills, because this is America and the residents have a right to vote yes or no on this. And hopefully in September, when we come back, we can revisit this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Elliott. All right, miscellaneous. Councilman Martin is our liaison to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Has become a customary. We put on the agenda some floor motions. These 3 floor motions are there, easier, bigger print. Council acts in administrative actions to either whether or not to concur with the findings of the zoning board. We review these in depth in caucus. So if there's no division of the question, I'm going to motion to concur with all 4 variances. Okay. We have the 1810 Hillside Road, Natalie Martinez Polinsky, for variance to 963.02A and a variance to 963.02A1. In addition, 2580 Voyager Circle, Sam Randazzato, 2 variances, number 9, ordinance 997.03D2 and ordinance 997.03D4. So once again, if there's no division of the question, I motion that we concur with the findings of the zoning board. All were passed.
Second.
Any comments? Questions? Roll call.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snetsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes. We've adopted the findings of the zoning board. That's it for this evening. I hope to see everyone at home days. Mr. Rufa, if you can talk to me after the meeting. I want to arrange some meetings so that you can get some answers. And if anyone in the audience wants to get on the council's agenda for a distribution, so you know when meetings are, come up and see Carol after the meeting as well. I motion to adjourn council at 8:36. Do I have a second? Roll call.
Elliott?
Yes.
Stager?
Yes.
Greenwald?
Yes.
Snetsky?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Biassiata.
Yes, council's adjourned. Have a good evening.
I'm going for a drink. It's my birthday today. You want to come for a drink? It's my birthday today. I'll buy the first round.